changing the world.
Hello and welcome to the Magnetic Flow Show with me, your host, Lynette Gray, where we're having conversations to expand our consciousnness and connect you to the magical energy of life. And this morning, I'm so excited. I have my friend, Thomas, who is a soul coach and the creator of Think Future, Feel Now. Welcome, Harry.
Thank you for having me.
Did I introduce you right?
Yeah, that was perfect.
Yay! So, Harry, I'm so excited to have you on. You know, you and I have become very good friends, especially in the last year. And I just love the way you think differently from so many others. You think outside the box, and you really have blown me away with your Think Future, Feel Now. So let's go there. I always try and describe this experience to my friends, and I don't know if I do it justice. So in your words, what is Think Future, Feel Now?
Yeah, okay. So the word that you said was experience. That's the best description I can give it without putting any labels to it. It's a unique experience which you turn up for, and whatever you need to get out of that session will come for you. So people leave the experience with answers to questions, decisions that need to be made, insights into things that they weren't even aware of. They even come out for a timeout and their soul goes on vacation. You can manifest whatever you want. You can go back to past life. Like there's, and it's not me leading it. People come away with all these different things themselves. So I love it because it's a unique experience. I guess you could describe it like meditation, like visualization, but that's a label. So meditation, so many people have this perception, oh, I can't meditate. So I'd rather just say, just turn up. It's your own unique experience. All you need to do is just let go. And at the very least you'll get is a good 15 minutes to yourself, uninterrupted, and you'll feel better from when you come in to when you leave. That's a guarantee.
Absolutely. And, you know, I have done a few of these experiences, and I've done it just yesterday, actually. I actually messaged you because you had created one for my magnetic mastermind group, and I'd done it, and then I'd done it again. And the second time that I'd done it, I was crying. I had these amazing visualizations, and I really felt so open, like vibrating higher, like it was such a cool experience.
Yeah, it was your testimony that I got. That's why I love doing it. It was it's what people take from it, the excitement, the energy, and I get to share that space with people. And I could do that all day. If that was my full-time job, which I'm trying to make it, that would be a great life to live.
Well, that's when you know you're on the right path. It's like, you know, if money was no object and you were doing the thing that you're already doing, then you're a success, Harry, already. So I want to ask you, what does the word magnetic mean to you? You know, I talk about having that magnetic energy. What does it mean to you, Harry?
Yeah, now it's very strong. So we hear of law of attraction, the universal laws. What you put out comes back. So it's like if I put something out there, the magnetic within me will pull it back. And it's the magnetic is me, and it's whatever I want. I need to turn that magnet on, and it's just going to pull it my way.
Yeah, and I love that you mentioned universal laws. You know, I'm training just now, and I'm learning all about the universal laws, and there's so much to learn. So is that something that you're practicing, that you're learning about? You know, you mentioned them there.
Yeah, all the time now. So I'm very, very particular on words. I love words. If you look at, we make spellings. There's spells on our subconscious. So every word that comes out of your mouth, we have that first choice to say it. We think, and whatever comes next, we have a choice. The English language, every word has a positive, and has an opposite, has a negative. And our language, we use very negative words without realizing it. So just a few examples. Don't forget, never give up, never give in. Is always opposite. Always remember, keep going.
Yes.
Keep striving. So you have a choice to change it. So my kind of philosophy was, If I only put out positive words, I can only be a positive person. So if anyone meets me with negativity, I can flip the words and just put a bit of positivity into that conversation. And ever since I stumbled across this, like my whole life's completely changed. So just on that magnetic part, I put out positivity, I get positivity back. Like my health, my happiness, you'll see my smiles just on my social media. There'll be a point where it's like, wow, you can see the whole difference. And that was all just from the words that I use. And then the spiritual stuff that I'm into now. So the law of the universe again, let's say that there is this creator, this God or divine, however you describe it. So what I ask for, that entity, this spirit, this energy, that gives it back.
Yep.
And what happens is sometimes we have these incredible moments. I'd say credible moments. There's one of those spells already. It's incredible. It's not, it's credible. But we deny it with our words. That's unbelievable. That's unreal. That's mad. That's crazy. And when you start going back through our history, the English language was put in for deception. So we have these moments, then we deny it with our words. So imagine the creator was like, well, if you're denying that, I can't show you anything else. You've got to accept that one. And once you get this bit, then I'm going to give you even more.
Yeah, doubt, stop it. And I love that you're sort of pointing, if you can't, obviously, if you're listening on radio, you can't see Harry's hands are going up in the air. And for me, it's connecting to that higher self. You know, I had one of my mentors described a great visualization. It's like, picture yourself standing in a picture and above you is the sun. And the sun is like beaming down on you, sending wisdom, sending heat, sending joy, sending all these things. But in between you and your higher self are dark clouds. And just imagine those dark clouds as your limiting identities and your limiting beliefs. So the ideas that are coming down from the higher self are being filtered out by whatever bullshit you're telling yourself. And then it really, that visualization for me, I was like, oh, so it's really all about releasing, well, you know, some of the language that we use definitely, and these limiting beliefs, but the limiting beliefs are, you know, bringing out that language that you're talking about.
That's a great analogy. I love that. I'll take that one next time.
Yeah, put it in one of your think, future, feel now.
I'll create one just for you. With what you just said then, though, and this is the thing, people say, oh, it's that can't be right. That can't. So we're already saying it already with the initial words. It's our ego. And if you become observant of this little voice in your head, so thinks you're going to be a millionaire, straight away it's no, what's he talking about? That little voice, that's still energy that goes out. So if whatever you put out comes out, that's the last command.
And the universe just says yes.
Yeah, it gives you what you want. So it's almost and that's the key part. So you can deny it, but every experience you have in your life is through your senses. We see, we smell, we taste, we feel, we hear. But what we think, that's not our sense, that's not our experience. So no one can deny how you feel. And this is think, future, feel now. Everyone can disagree with your thoughts. They have a difference in opinion. But if you express how you feel, no one can challenge that. So if we then use the senses, that's how I feel. If you're the only one who knows, it could feel negative or positive. Well, it feels positive to me. Like, that's you. And it takes back your power because you're trusting in your own senses, trusting your gut feeling. And I go one deeper, trust in your soul.
Yes, trust in your soul. I like that. And, you know, manifestation, we just both mentioned that there. I believe we're manifesting 24/7. So people, you know, may watch The Secret and think, oh, manifestation, it's all about bringing in the good stuff. But actually, you are manifesting everything. You are the creator. Like, what do you believe about manifestation? You were obviously talking about the creative process there. When you hear the word manifestation, what does that trigger within you, Harry?
So I think there's three parts to it. I think I think we're all caught up in our thoughts too much. So sometimes we think we want something, but that's only one part of the manifesting. There's think, then I believe. It's only when you know that's when it comes true. So it's trying to think in life. I think of that person and I feel horrible. So it's always the thoughts that come first.
Yeah.
So when you're now thinking of something you really want, the thought's a great thing, but that's still a movie. Now you've got to feel it. And again, it's that feeling that you know. So I always see if you can be brave enough to know it, and then that becomes true.
And I think I was talking to someone, we were talking about the universal laws. I can't remember which one law we were discussing, but it reminded me of, you know, when you're pregnant and you're expecting a baby. So in my pregnancy, I knew I was having a baby and I was expecting the baby to come. And then the baby arrived. And I think with the goals and the dreams, if we have that expectation, like I know they're coming, okay, maybe I need to be patient, because sometimes, you know, if I look back at my journals, Harry, there's times, it's been maybe 7 years ago that I wanted to create something and I'm just doing it now. And along the way, I've questioned my power, my manifestation power, because it hasn't shown up when I wanted it to. But vibrationally, I was not ready for the thing that I was asking for. So I believe that deep knowing, the expectation that the thing is going to arrive, but also getting yourself into a space that you're vibrationally ready to handle what you say you want. Because it's a bit like, you know, the lottery winners who bring in all those millions, and 2 years later, it's like it slipped through their fingers because they weren't vibrationally ready.
Nothing happens straight away in life. Like with the pregnancy, you know it takes 9 months. You just know that. So that's what you work with. If you're learning a new skill or a new sport, you know it takes some time. If you're learning Photoshop, for example, you don't get it straight away. But because like meditation and our thoughts, we can do it straight away. Oh, it didn't work.
Yes.
And they give up. And it's like, if you know that it takes 9 months and you did it every day, because you're being pregnant every day, you live life every day. So if you turn that into a program and know and believe that that will come true at that part, then you do the same process. You keep repeating. I'm convinced that if you did 9 months of manifesting and actually just stuck to that every day, because you then catch yourself with the negative thoughts, and you do it so much that you're not even thinking about it anymore. It's subconscious. So your body's just vibrating this new energy because you've been working it so long that actually, let me think of something else now. Let me be the mum. Let me be my friend. I can play the other roles in my life because that's a given. So it's stick it out.
And I think touching on that, you know, energy is what we are. There's potential energy, and it's focusing on what we want, but also we must take the action. I think definitely The Secret was amazing that came out, but I think it missed a lot of the sort of action part. Like I can visualize myself as a millionaire. I can visualize myself living in a beautiful home. But until I start to take inspired action, little baby steps towards these goals and dreams, then they're just going to stay in my imagination. The action for me is what actually brings in the manifestation.
Yeah, again, nailed it. And if we just keep working on analogies, because this just seems too easy when it's with our thoughts, but real life practical scenarios. I've given you a passport and you're not allowed to fly, but you've got to get to Brazil. If you don't take action, you're going to be in the same place until you decide to take action. So you get on the bus, you go to the next one, and you go to the next one. But you have to do something every day to get there because it's a long way away. Yeah. If you don't do anything and you just expect it to happen, nothing happens.
Oh, and Harry, talking about, you know, flying. Can I bring in the, you know, your recent experience of flying? Because obviously we're going through a time of huge transformation, a lot of rules being set. And, you know, a couple of weeks ago, I texted you, we'd had a great conversation a few days before. And I'm like, how you doing, Harry, mate? And you're like, oh yeah, I've been through a lot. And I'm like, great, what's happening? And you text me back. What did you text me back?
I spent 5 hours in a cell at Heathrow Airport, coming back from a red list country. I manifested that I would not be doing quarantine. I manifested that I was just going straight to my parents' house. And effectively, that's exactly what I ended up happening. So I knew my rights. I'd been looking into it. I actually meditated pretty much the whole trip back. Every scenario acting out, every question that was coming to me, I had an answer. I had a game plan for it. And I knew exactly what I was allowed to do. And I knew I wasn't breaking any laws. So I was met with all this resistance. So spiritual teachings, that's opinions from others. They're entitled to their opinion, but I know my truth. And then I just stuck with that. No matter what was thrown at me, I kept calm. I kept my vibrations high. And in the end, I got out. I got released. I didn't do any quarantine. I didn't have any PCR tests. I didn't have any checks. I didn't have anyone come around to my house. And also the most amazing thing, because I spoke my truth, the whole world was literally reached out to me. I've had people from all over the world, the most amazing messages, just thanking me for the bravery, asking for questions. And recently I've had people from Canada saying, because of your video, I managed to get straight through. I didn't have any trouble. Had a lady from Zimbabwe that's flown to New Zealand, expressed her rights. And it allowed people to see that we're all connected as well. And we all want freedom. We all want peace. We want happiness. And right now there doesn't seem to be a lot of that with all these mandatory restrictions that putting on, which I don't seem to agree with, and many other people don't either.
And I loved the fact that you've gone onto YouTube and you've shared your experience. So anyone listening in that's like, I want to hear that. Like, what is your YouTube channel?
Yeah, so it's Harry Thomas UK, and it's about 10 videos down. You'll see it as I spent 5 hours in the cell. On Telegram, it went over 300,000 views at the moment. So it's circulated quite a lot, and again, it's just the people, all walks of life and all age groups. They're all just shown an interest, and it's really helped me excel now within my coaching. I'm having conversations with you, and we've gone through another stuff. I feel really happy at the moment.
Yeah, and when I watched that video of you sharing your experience, I was like, wow. That is so brave, because Harry, for me, I am very much, when there's an authority figure, there's a program within me that tells me I'm in trouble, even if I'm not. Like, I'm never in trouble, right? Really, sometimes. But even if I'm driving and there's a police car behind me, I'm like, oh God, I mean, what have I done? Am I speeding? Like, I'm constantly questioning myself. And I think as human beings, we've been conditioned to believe that other people have this authority. So to watch the video and you even talking about, being put in the cell, I would have got to that point and totally freaked out. I would have been like the one that's like, okay, I'll just quarantine, fuck it, like, leave me alone, I'm too scared. So, like, how did you get to that point where you're like, I'm totally prepared, and I know you talked about the meditation, like that, even though I've been working on my mindset for over 10 years, that scenario would have totally freaked me out.
Yeah, I think it comes back to knowing my truth. Like, I knew I wasn't breaking any laws. So if anyone said I'm doing something wrong, the most powerful thing you can do is ask a question. I don't need to defend it. I don't need to get aggressive. I ask the question, what law am I breaking? And they can't answer it. They say, oh, it's Emergency COVID Act. That's an act, it's a regulation, it's not a law. And one of the things I encourage people is know your rights. We're all entitled to them. And it shows that we're all unique, we're all individual, but we're all entitled on the same level. There's no kind of status or, like you said, authority figure.
Yes.
Because we're still individual people at the end of the day. So I think it was education, knowing the truths, and every question that would have come to me that I wouldn't have got an answer. I've been looking for answers for a lot of this stuff for the last 18 months and I haven't received one. So I knew I was okay there. And I also weighed up each scenario. What was the worst case? Worst case, I'd spend 24 hours in a cell, but I would be let go because I haven't broken any laws, without charge. I wouldn't have paid 2,200 quid for a hotel and spend 10 days in there. So a few hours in a cell versus 10 days, which I'd effectively call a prison, because I've heard you only get like an hour in the car park and you have to eat when they tell you. that was an easy way up. And then after that, I knew that I was also, because they unlawfully arrested me, I could now claim compensation. So I invoiced them £1,000 an hour for every hour that I was in there for. So I was happy to stay for 24 hours if they wanted to, but they changed their mind quite quickly.
Harry, I mean, that is an incredible story. And, you know, you obviously, that was your calling to go through that. Like, you know, I believe everything that we experience is for our growth or awakening, but it sounds like it was actually for the collective awakening in some way. Do you feel that within your soul, because it's having so much attraction right now? Like, people are, you know, we've got so far through this whole thing, this experience, like there is people craving other answers. And I love that you found the knowledge and the bravery and the courage to take a stand. Yeah,
there's a massive shift happening at the moment, because a lot of people, majority of people, vaccinated or not, majority of people are not agreeing with what's being kind of thrown at us at the moment. So if you're not agreeing with that, then we're turning for what else. And at the moment, there wasn't really many people to turn to. And I think what this highlighted is that, again, if you know your rights and you haven't done anything wrong, and you turn up just as a calm, collected person, you can effectively, the system's been put in place to protect us. So I think once it's experiential knowledge that tops anything else. You've seen it in action, you've explained how to do it. All of a sudden, you've got this new confidence. But what it's also allowing people to do is to actually start questioning other things, not just what outside, but actually, how am I feeling? How is my reactions to certain people, or reactions what I'm showing on the TV? And again, people taking back their power. And what it also shows as well, which was the big one, when you get these little gut feelings, inklings, that means you're on a slightly different journey to maybe the closest around you. And the hardest thing when you stumble across your own truth is that the ones that you love, they're not on the same wavelength at this point. And you end up getting into arguments, you end up doubting yourself, you end up having, in my case, I've lost so many of my friends because they weren't on the same page as me. But where it also then showed there's so many other people out there now, and it's allowing people to actually feel part of something, and you're not the crazy one, you're not the lone wolf anymore, that there's a whole collective. So I really can see, and I know that there's so much good around the corner at the moment. So whatever you're being shown, the darkness, if you look in the right places, the light is shining, and that's all you need to head to. And that is truth, that's God, that's peace, that's love. It's all the same thing. And if you had a choice, do you want to stay where you are at the moment, or am I going to pick the light? And for me, there's only one answer. Well, you're shining bright, brother, and I'm glad that you've chosen to go on this path, because like you say, we may lose people along the way, but what we gain is so much more. Listen, thank you for being my first male guest, which is awesome. Woohoo! How would you like to close this conversation, Harry? Okay, I would say the first one is take a time out and just give yourself some space. Like, literally clear all the noise. I call it meditation. I could just some time out for yourself. Take 15 minutes out. I can even share a playlist link with some music playing, so you don't have to even think about that. But just sit there, just be. And if you can do that over a period of a week, I guarantee, or I know, that you'll feel better. And if it's only 15 minutes, we all have time for that. So if when people say I don't have time, then that's your choice, but you will feel better if you do that for 7 days. So I'm going to say, take some time out for yourself and just be. There's nothing else to that. You just be there and just see what comes up for you. Great advice, Harry. Most challenging for many to sit with themselves. Listen, it's been awesome, and we'll be definitely doing more in the future. Thank you to everyone for listening. Have a magnetic day, you beautiful souls. Thank you, guys.